Welcome to the Bold Analysis. In this podcast, I want us to look at unpopular opinion. That unpopular opinion from Pauline Njoroge. And thank you very much. Some 3 of our subscribers from Germany just called and said, Kevin, look at this. It has not come to my attention. Let's read this. Gachagua is not Uhuru or Kibaki, true. The former presidents were futuristic, thoughtful, and strategic, and Gachagua is not. The former DP is definitely bold, a great mobilizer, and a very good with narratives. But that's just about it. He's not sophisticated in his thinking, and strategically, he's not smart. He gets carried away easily, gets caught up in the present moment, and acts without thinking of future ramifications of his actions. When he picks up a fight, he does it aggressively, but instinctively. Remember his inauguration speech at Kasarani and his other schemes that followed Northland's reigns. I can bet that even in his fight with Ruto, he only thought of that present moment and never applied any strategic plan to it. At present, he will continue fighting aggressively, get crash events, and cause a lot of excitement for the moment. But if you happen to ask him what the eventual plan is, I am almost certain he would have no answer. Yet a smart and strategic mind is required even for a kingmaker. So my dear Mount Kenya people, get all excited for now, as there is a man who is giving Ruto a hard time in the region. But if you are looking for a person who will give the community strategic direction moving into the future, you will have to go back to the drawing board, as that person is not Gachagua. Due to urgency and significance of this matter, we may even need to pray facing the great mountain and plead with the Munene Nyaga to provide and anoint for us a man who will lead the community into the future and build great meaningful collaborations with other Kenyan communities. MC Billy Fiesta Milele is saying, me and you both agree that he's a kingmaker and not a king. He will definitely give us the king. I did vote for him. He will never be my favorite. However, I will not underrate him. In ni mtu wa kujituma, the best part of it is that he's fighting the same people he worked for and with. Mimi naangalia TV na kusikiza radio, hii speedy na kelele inanipatia headache. Gachagua will not give us a king, that is Pauline responding. He will want to be the king of the mountain, even if he is not eligible to vie. Mark these words. That is what I want to analyze, and I want to break it into 2. In my first bit, I want to review the statement and then look at the narrative. Rigathi will not give Mount Kenya directions. Ladies and gentlemen, this video will be this video I'm just doing, it is the last video I'm doing since to leave Nairobi for Watamu, Kilifi, where we are going to build a house for these 2 gentlemen, Edison and Harrison. So for better part of tomorrow, and next 3 days, I will be in the coastal region to build a house for these 2 brothers. They are living with disability. Walikuwa kwa nyumba walipewa, but tena wamefukuzwa hapo. So kuna kanisa iliwapatia shamba. So that is why I'm going there, a small piece there. So we are going to put up a structure for them. My deficit as I leave Nairobi now is 84,300. I have 116,000, but I believe kwamba we can start. So you can send me what you can as I leave, as I continue with this. Kidogo kidogo ujaza kibaba. That's why we are doing 100 bob challenge. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support.
Mimi Edison Mimi Edison na tuko mahali ambapo tunafukuzwa. Mwenyewe anataka ile nyumba aijenge tena, anatufukuza. Sasa tukapatiwa mahali hapa tujenge, lakini sasa mpango wa pesa kinini pesa ndio nimekoma hapa mahali tumefika. So nataka msaada, mtusaidie ili tuendelee kujenga mahali hapa, tuwe tukiishi mahali hapa. Ni hivyo. Changamoto ya kutembea pia ndio hii changamoto ya kutembea.
Rigathi's strategic move at his impeachment is something that personally I opposed. And his strategic move, which was a popular move, was for Rigathi Gachagua to resign. Then after resigning, he will stand the chance of vying again. He chose to go all the way to the wire. Now let me tell you, if Rigathi Gachagua would have resigned, he would have come back with a guilt, and William Ruto will easily get a narrative to debunk and diminish the influence of Rigathi Gachagua. Angeulizwa, kama hauko umefanya makosa, mbona ulitolewa? And I think in his thinking, or probably not of the same, he decided to go to the wire so that it can come out publicly. In fact, what Rigathi did, he wanted to demonstrate to his support base how William Ruto marshaled. He exposed how William Ruto marshaled the state machinery against him. You look at the chronology of events from Mutuse in the National Assembly all the way to the Senate. The Senate exposed how Mutuse did not have a strong case against Rigathi, to the way things were rushed in, the swearing in plans were even rushed and all that. Now, if you followed Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, one takeaway, and I come to tell you this, one takeaway from that process is that process was midwifed by the president. And it was president's own directives. The man behind it was none other than William Samoei Arap Ruto. So, that strategic move of resigning, if he would have resigned, contrary to what people see, hangeonekana kwamba ametolewa. Rigathi had to come out like nimetolewa. But if you resign, how do you resign then you say umetolewa na wewe mwenyewe umejitoa? Maybe think. Number two, Rigathi went brutal against the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And we didn't agree with him on that. It went too personal and too brutal. But again, the truth is, combative politics in this country, staying on a combative edge, is what Wanjiku really wants. That's it. And so, that is what worked. It worked against William Ruto. It worked for William Ruto in Mount Kenya. Now, the same script Ruto is employing, Rigathi is employing against Ruto. Where is the proof that probably it won't work? Let me explain this to my good friend Pauline. The young people milling around Rigathi Gachagua's convoy, the people that are attending the church service and the clergy that are inviting Rigathi in their churches, they all know. If you go to Mount Kenya today upate mzee, hata kijana mdogo muulize, wende pati nilikuwa Uhuru Stadium, mwambie, sasa nyinyi mnafollow Rigathi ya nini na hata vai. They know Rigathi will not vie. But Rigathi has given them solace. They are venting their frustration. In fact, it's not that They love Rigathi. Rigathi is such a good man that has done something good when he was a deputy president in his track record. No. They are actually showing their disapproval of William Ruto. And in fact, in Rigathi Gachagua, they have found someone that, they want someone who can, in fact, Rigathi is a tool, is a weapon to hit the president. They were just looking for, who is this person that can tell William Ruto off? And I want to give an example. When Raila and Ruto had that handshake, people were very uncomfortable. The whole country, except Raila supporters, were very uncomfortable because they've always wanted someone who can tell President Ruto you are wrong. Now, Rigathi is one person that has come out to tell President Ruto this is wrong and this is wrong. Now, take a second example. When Catholic bishop gave their press statement and telling Kenya Kwanza that they are wrong on this and that, do you know that across the political divide, Kenyans were standing with the Catholic bishops? Why? That is the same thing. The same standing where Catholic bishops are standing, that is the same stand with what Rigathi is doing in Mount Kenya. So, wale voters of Mount Kenya wanaona, okay, Rigathi is one of our own and Rigathi is brave enough to do it. It is the same stand with the Catholic bishops. And let me say another one here. Ruto Mount Kenya fallout did not start with the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. Rigathi Gachagua impeachment was a climax of that fallout. I once spoke to a political analyst from Kikuyu, really understands Kikuyu politics, and he told me, Kevin, before President Ruto, and I think I was analyzing, I keep on saying in this podcast that he who advised the president to impeach Rigathi is his enemy. So he confronted me and told me, Kevin, you are wrong. And this is what he was saying, that for William Ruto to agree to impeach Rigathi, he knew that there would be, the ground will shift. He knew that there would be an effect in the ground, and he knew that Rigathi, that Kindiki cannot match Rigathi acumen in the region. But he actually removed Rigathi because he understood that Rigathi has led Mount Kenya away from UDA and from President Ruto. So akaniambia mlima ilienda kitambu sana. Ndo maana hata wakati Rigathi alitolewa na rais alijua mlima imeenda. Lakini akamtoa Rigathi ikawa kuonyesha kwamba mimi ni sawa enda na hawa. And that is what begs the question that as mlima imeenda, and he knew that, he understands that Rigathi Gachagua was spewing some hate against Raila Odinga. So Raila's constituency, in retaliation, or rather in some revenge, they would coalesce around President Ruto. That has been the elementary thinking around it. But then, Ruto, Mount Kenya fallout is not caused by Rigathi. There are pertinent issues. Those Mount Kenya churches, well, kuna vitu walikuwa promised, hawakupata. There have been all that discussion about the agriculture, the agricultural stake in that region. There have been no significant changes. Third thing is, they were promised heaven, and not even earth was delivered. They were promised heaven, and not even earth was delivered. Let me explain second bit. The narrative that Rigathi may not give Mount Kenya direction. What's your verdict on that? What's your verdict on that? I want to agree with Pauline that Rigathi Gachagua may not be the ultimate person to give Mount Kenya direction because of different dynamics, political dynamics change. But my verdict on that is this. If not Rigathi, for 2027 it can only be Uhuru. Now, however, Uhuru comeback will be very significant to the politics of Mulima. But What Rigathi is doing, Rigathi is telling the Mulima people that you have all this food, but this one is poisonous. This one has pilipili. So even the person who is going to give that direction, he already have a hint. He already knows the food that he cannot tell the people to take. And that's what Rigathi is doing. He's already polarized. And let me be very casual with this. If Uhuru comes today and say vote for William Ruto, and Rigathi says William Ruto cannot be supported because of this, this, and this, who will people listen to? People will follow Rigathi. And that is why you cannot underestimate the political moves he is making. In politics, politics is not board mass, where you have a specific formula of reaching into, of executing, of doing the math. No. Politics is not fraction of 1 over 2 times. No. Politics is amorphous. You try this, it leads you there. You try this one, it leads you there. If this doesn't fail, you pick the other one. So, one thing is this. He might not give the direction, but whoever is giving direction will have choices to make. And he's already narrowing those choices. The other thing is this. If he manages to galvanize Mount Kenya behind one political party, then psychology of voters is clear that probably he's not going to vie. If he gets the not to vie, something else. And remember, he's not under any obligation to support anyone. If courts allows him, if the cases he gets his way and they allows him to vie, he will vie. He will actually vie. In fact, President Ruto would be more comfortable him vying in Mount Kenya than Mount Kenya supporting another candidate, even supporting Kalonzo, because they would actually embolden the competitor. The other issue is this. Let me tell you the danger of Rigathi. Rigathi is going to dismantle William Ruto's political matrix in 2027. And let me give you the ideal case. If he manages to take Mount Kenya from Ruto successfully, then what will Ruto do in 2027? Will he give Kindiki the running mate? No. The Western Wing will say, Mulima imeenda, umebaki na sisi, we've stabilized you. Give us that slot. Give us this government. With that, he will be facing the politics of betrayal. And the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah that we're seeing here, they realize it's a bit too late. The running mate is going to Western. And in 2027, the politics of betrayal will be back on the table. With that, so many other factors will change. The lastly is, with his great mobilization, he's making himself relevant. That whoever is going to give that direction, if it is not him, he's making himself relevant to the direction holder. If Uhuru is giving the direction, then Uhuru will get the relevance of Rigathi. Stand by Rigathi and say, oh, 20E. So, to my friend Pauline, it's not true that Rigathi may not be the kingmaker. But in that table, in that matrix, you cannot shove him off. Thank you.